Hi YouTube, Jeff Lindsay with you in the garage. Friday morning, June the 30th. And after a quick trip to town, we were able to locate the correct bearing from an A2 to an A34. That's a national bearing. I know those numbers don't mean much to anybody, but there they are. And we've already got one of them on. And we're going to work on getting the other rotor on, caliper, rotors, and we'll get this front subframe assembly moved out of the way. And right there is the disc brake conversion for the rear axle. And we'll see how that goes. We'll get started on it in a little while this morning and see where we end up, how far we get, and as we have a little progress, we'll bring you along. All right, YouTube, there it is. Rotors, calipers, brake shoes, everything's on. Got the tires and rims back on. These are not the rims and tires that will be on the car, although they're not that bad. But they are 14 inch, and we're going to go with a 15. There it is. We're going to move it out of the way and get started on the back axle on the rear end. Hi, YouTube. Alright, got the excuse me, subframe moved over to the other end of the room, and got the rear end or rear axle drug out of the corner. We're going to get started, drain the fluid first, and start trying to get the axles out. We'll get along with this thing as much as we can before work today. We will have to purchase the new bushings and whatever else we're going to need to put this thing back under the car. But we've got the kit, and hopefully this is going to be what we need. It looks like it. Looks like everything we're going to need to do this conversion, and we'll document it as best we can and bring you along. Alright, YouTube, just pulled the back plate, and it looks like everything that's coming out there is oil and no water. I don't see any shiny shivers of metal inside. We're going to dig into it a little more and see what we find. Just bringing you along. This is a 10 bolt. I'm sure it's not anything special, but we'll keep a check on it and see what's going on as we take it apart. My plan is not to pull all this out, clean it all up good, take the axles out, do the conversion, and see what we end up with. So we'll bring you along. Okay, YouTube, about 12 bells. We're going to take it on in and get ready for work at 3. We did go ahead and tap off the drums, and to my surprise, the drums are actually in fairly good shape. The shoes are not worn completely out. It doesn't look like there was any metal on metal, and that's a surprise. But we do have a 10 bolt GM C-clip rear end, and we're going to let this thing drain. And these backing plate bolts are fairly rusty. We're going to spray those and just let them soak overnight, and try to get out here in the morning and do a little more. Try to get the axles pulled out, backing plates off, and all that. I have not really made up my mind yet about the leaf springs. I don't know. They don't look terribly bad. I'm not sure if I need to replace them as a precaution. This is not going to be a high horsepower car. It's not going to be a race car. It's going to be a cruiser. The motor will have a little more than it's got now, hopefully. If it's a stock 350. I do want to put a little in it, not much, but Not going to be a high horsepower car, so I'm not really worried about positive traction. I'm not really worried about 4-link suspension and all that. We're going to go back as stock as this can be without having drum brakes. So we're going to spray everything down good, let it set overnight, come back, hope it all comes apart good. And probably just try to talk to some folks about the leaf springs and get some ideas, opinions on whether I should replace them as a precaution or not. And we'll go from there. All right, YouTube, we'll get back at it tomorrow. All right, YouTube, Jeff Lynn's in the garage. First day of July, Saturday. It's about 10 a.m. And we didn't really have any trouble getting the brake pads, backing plates all came off together. Everything looks pretty good. The axles don't look bad. We've got both of those took off. Got a lot of cleaning up to do. We've got a lot of cleaning up here to do. Went ahead and opened up the kit that I purchased. Calipers with brake pads. It looks like everything that they said would be in this kit is here in this kit. And it is packaged very nicely. I doubt that this company is manufacturing this stuff very seriously, but they're obviously buying it from somewhere that takes the time to at least make sure everything's there, make sure everything's packaged right. Again, calipers, brake pads, dust shields, dust covers, whatever you want to call them, e-brake cables, brake lines. We got the backing plates. We've got all the shims and stuff that we might possibly need. All the hardware, and it's all packaged nice and neat. The main plates and the rotors, they're not slotted. They look just about exactly like the ones that we put on the front. There is a couple of stipulations with this. This hat area here hopefully will clear the axle. I hadn't measured anything yet, but they did say, and there was a couple of reviews after I'd actually bought these that mentioned that. I'm not sure that it was on this model car that I've got. But anyway, that's what we're looking at. Everything's here. Everything's there. And I still really hadn't made up our mind yet about leaf springs, but we're gonna go ahead and do this conversion, get everything done, and get the back axle cleaned up, ready to go back under the car, get it painted. So a lot of work to do. We'll just bring you along when we have progress. Hey YouTube, Jeff Lynn's in the garage with you on the 4th of July. It's about 11 a.m. I hope everybody's having a great 4th. Unfortunately, it's a work day for me, so we just hanging around the house. Out in the garage, finishing up on this disc brake conversion. And what we did is we opened up the back end, went in and drained everything, cleaned it all out, cleaned out the tubes, pulled the axles, cleaned the tubes best we could. And out to about the U-bolt area, we cleaned up the axle on the outside, new seals, bearings, and put everything back together and went ahead and did the conversion part of this. Not going to put any brake lines or anything on just yet because we've got to clean this up and get some paint on it. And the reason I did this, I cleaned it up and painted out to here just to be able to go ahead and do this. I'm going to bag all this, tape it off real good. I'm not going to sandblast. I'm tired of sandblasting. I'm going to clean this up with a wire wheel, wire brush. I do still have to put my bushings in here and new ones on the perch areas in the front. But everything looks good. Everything works good. I like it. I think it'll be fine. This kit was a kit from Summit. not extremely expensive. It was very affordable, and it looks good. It matches what we did on the front pretty well, the calipers and the rotors. So we're gonna call this a project. I'm not gonna show the cleanup and the painting and all that mess of this. Main thing was just to do the conversion. I know I didn't do a step-by-step video. I'm just not very good at doing that. It's hard for me to video and work and then edit. But anyway, we got it done. We got her done sitting over there on the floor. She's ready. She's just about ready, and she's waiting. I think my next plan of attack will be to clean this up and paint it, move it over out of the way, bring the car back out to the center of the floor, and go ahead and spray what we're going to spray underneath. And then I think we'll be ready to put the subframe and rear axle back under the car, get it on the ground, and hopefully the next thing after that will be the roof skin. That was the plan all along, to get the car on the ground. I did not want to cut that roof skin off on the rotisserie and take a chance on stuff moving around. So that's where we at, YouTube. Front subframe, rear axle pretty much done. Just need paint. And we're going to call this a video. And hopefully in a week or two we'll be able to get back out here and get started on putting all this under the car. All right, YouTube.